What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rob Bailey. I am a daily vlogger. I put out a video every single day in the year 2025. And this weekend, we had a large event at our warehouse. I had a lot of my powerful friends here, and we brought a bunch of people in from all over the country to educate, inspire, and entertain them, to bring them into our house. And I ended up having a bunch of really good conversations. And one of the conversations I had last night kept me awake. Something about 5 years ago. So I had to review the footage. All right, so 5 years ago, I ran the mile for the first time to get my baseline, and then I ran for 6 weeks to try to get faster. The goal was, let's see what my baseline is, which we're about to watch. And then it was, let's run for 6 weeks and see if 250-pound Rob Bailey can run in under 5 minutes. So I was really looking for like a 4:58 mile. So the video we're gonna witness today, just so I remember it properly, is, it's me at 253 pounds in October 3rd, 2019, running for the first time.
It's just gonna be a short little 5.5 minute video, so don't blink, you'll miss it.
The bar is set.
Now if I break 5, I'll feel really good, but I'm not gonna break 5.
So his first time running a mile in probably...
I ran a mile 5 years ago.
All right, so it looks like 10 years ago, I did the same thing. I ran the mile just to get my baseline time with my staff, and it looks like it was a 6:23.
Ran like a mid-6, right? Somewhere in there?
Yeah.
6:20 something.
So we're just setting a benchmark today.
Pretty much what I'm training with Dan here. Trying to be more of an athlete, and trying to get a baseline for where I'm at, because we're about to get a bunch of snow. I'm gonna train through the winter and then come back and see if I can beat it in the spring. But stats right now are 6'3". I'm 253 this morning. So
Oh geez, so that's exactly what I am right now. I'm just 5 years older, but that's the same weight that I am right now.
my track time, when I round, I gotta do it at 1:20, and that'll put me at 6:20 for 4 laps. Cool. So if I can beat that, I will, but.
So I can't really use this audio. There's stadium music playing in the background, but what I'm saying there is if I run every single lap at an average of 6:20, which is fast. If you've ever ran a lap around a track, you know that 6:20 is pretty fast. I'm sorry, 1:20 is pretty fast, but if I run 4 laps at 1:20, that should put me at my time. Now, why am I even talking about this? Like, am I gonna start doing a running challenge? No. Essentially, this is how my brain works, right? I get an idea, I hear something that triggers something that challenges me, and I say, is that something I really wanna do? And I normally do that in my quiet time. I do that at my house. I do that on my drive. But today I decided to do that in front of you guys. I said, what if I put this video up and I watch it and I really think about it? I'm like, do I want to try to track my mile again this time? And the interesting part is it looks like I kind of get this bug every 5 years just to sort of see where I'm at. So I'm about to turn 42. It looks like I did this when I was 37, and then it looks like I did it when I was 32. So for some reason, every 5 years, I think to myself, randomly, I wonder how fast I can run the mile. And it looks like my baseline's always been about 6:25, around there. I actually don't even know what I run this mile in, but I look pretty big. Like I'm carrying a lot of muscle here. Oof. If you guys don't know, Dan did Ninja Warrior back in the day. Dan's an athlete. He's now an ultra runner. Since this, he's been running 100-mile races, and it's really impressive to watch. One of the things I really like about running, and one of the reasons that I had some conversations, I really started to miss it, is I didn't realize how many really good days I had with Dan. And it wasn't the good days. It wasn't the days where we ran really well and everything worked out. I, this weekend, started having flashbacks and remembering like traumatic days that not everything went right. The really, really hard days that I pushed through. And as I was talking about them, I felt so proud. Like that's what I remembered from this weekend. I remember having these conversations with Dan and feeling really proud of like, that day was so hard, but I made it through it. And, you know, the event kept going on. And then at some point in time, it just started to pop back in my head, like, damn, I did feel so proud. Like, even talking about it, I felt really proud. And this weekend was a ton of that. It was a ton of talking and reminiscing about what we've done and feeling proud. All right, let's see my mile time here. What do we got? I hope we put it up on the screen. I think Dan's about to say it. What do we got? I'm obviously wrecked. This is a guy who does not run, who I think just ran a 6:20. I think it's a 6:23. I think I ran something like that. There's no audio here, so I don't know. But I am wrecked. I started out fast. I then started to fall behind. My third lap, I realized I couldn't get my legs under me. And then my fourth lap, I gave it my all. So I am wrecked at this point in time. But I think it was around 6:21 or something like that, which is, you know, it makes me wonder now, 5 years later, am I just still running a 6:21? I'm not going to run this week because there's not enough time. But I think that's not really what I'm looking at, right? What I'm really looking at is just being proud. I mean, we had some runs, 6:11. Holy shit, I ran a 6:11. Wow. For my first mile of not running, just getting on a track, running 6:11, I'm impressed by myself. Good work, buddy. But I think remembering back to a lot of these things that Dan and I did, and a lot of these big runs, man, I remember there was the backside of Lion Mountain with these rocks, and we were doing sprints up and like wearing me out and doing sprints, but we were on a cliff. And I remember like the rain and the smell. You know, I remember over at Lone Pine Mountain, there's a long, like, you know, it's like an 80 meter straight and then up a hill, and we would run for 60 seconds. So I would sprint long strides and then have to start driving up this hill. And the cool thing is you would mark where you run to, and then next time you would do it again. And every single time you would see your mark get further and further away, and it would make you a maniac. Like, you're like, no, last time I hit that rock, now I'm hitting this rock. But as you're fatiguing, right? So it was really going back to your heart. And one, I'm very glad that I filmed this. I'm very glad that not only do I have that memory to come up with and feel proud of, but I can go back and look at it. And then also, like, when I get that urge to like maybe retest my mile time, you know, I'm not in as good a shape. The last 5 years has obviously beaten me up a little bit, but man, it's cool to look back and be like, wow, I remember that. And then also imagine if I was to start running again right now. I'm on the treadmill, but I'm not outside. I remember how cool that felt. I'm glad I have footage of it. I'm explaining how I got rocked right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this thought process. I'm gonna sit on this a few more days. I don't wanna hop right into telling you I'm an ultra runner or anything like that, but I did have a conversation this weekend that I missed running, and it wasn't missing running as much as I missed really, really testing myself for long periods of time. I've been testing myself in the gym. I've been testing myself with a diet, but there's something about running and knowing that, say, hey, you're training for an hour, you're training for 45 minutes, and it's hard and you need to get through it, that I feel really proud of, and I kind of want that feeling back. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but whenever I get an idea, I sit on something for a little bit, I let it process, I let it float around, I look at things that inspire me, and if it really, really resonates with me, then I take action. I miss that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a daily vlogger, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, one more thing. I got the sun coming up, so it feels nice on my face. What do you guys think? Do you think I should, 5 years later, test my mile time cold and see what I can do? I know what the answer is going to be, but I'm curious to see what you guys are going to say. Good night.